Hi, everyone. Welcome.
Hello,
Welcome.
everyone.
So we're just letting a few more folks come in. Thanks so much for joining us today. Tonight's meeting is a college, it's sort of, a meeting for juniors for the class of 2023, Queens High School of Teaching students. And we are going to be discussing sort of planning, for college during junior year. We'll give you tips and hints of things that students should be doing and planning. My name is Monica San Pedro. I'm one of the counselors at Queens High School of Teaching, but I'm the college counselor. So I, will work with juniors and their families, seniors and their families to best support them in the college application process. Also joining me today is one of our college coaches, Mazabin. Mazabin has been part of the college office for several years already, and she's fully trained to support students through the college application process. Mazabin, do you want to introduce yourself a little bit?
Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Mazabin. I attended QHST and graduated in 2017. I was in the Emerson community. After graduating in 2017, I attended Macaulay Honors College at Brooklyn College. I was majoring in business administration and marketing. I graduated in 2020 with my bachelor's. Soon after that, now I work full-time for the city government, and I work part-time with Miss Monica at the college office. I am a trained college coach, and I'm here to support students on college application process, but also other post-secondary options.
Sounds good. Mazabin, I know Ms. Garner. I believe Ms. Garner is also here with us. Do I need to do anything on my end to let her? Oh, hi, Ms. Garner. I was like,
hi.
Hi, Ms. Garner.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, you?
Good, thank you. Good evening, everyone. I just want to take the opportunity to welcome parents and students. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. And we just want to thank Miss Monica and her whole college office team for putting this together to give everyone a glimpse into what to expect the rest of this school year and next year, and just help the students on their journey as they decide what they want to do as far as their secondary options once they leave high school. Because we definitely want students to have an idea, to get that exposure, that experience, and they're doing that here at QHST through their AP classes, getting that additional experience in terms of rigorous subject areas and content. And then in addition to their college inquiry classes, where Miss Monica pushes in and she does a lot of different presentations and workshops, and then the work with the college office team, where we have our seniors come in and get assistance with financial aid applications and also help with their applications, and getting juniors in and doing those junior presentations so that they can sort of get the idea of what options are available to them once they graduate from high school. So I'll turn it back over to you, Miss Monica. I just want to thank you and thank all the parents for coming tonight. And I know that, Miss Monica, you're going to have a wealth of information, and I just thank you for what you're doing with the students and with your college coaches. That it's just wonderful work. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Garner, for taking the time out of your busy schedule to be with us. So we greatly appreciate it. Thank you, Ms. Garner, and we appreciate that you value the work. I know you do. So without further ado, we have a full night full of like packed with tons and tons of information. Just a couple of things that we want to make sure that everyone knows. This is the agenda. This is what we're going to talk about today. So as you could see, we're going to be covering tons of information. If you do have questions, please feel free to put them in the chat, but just send them in the chat to me. Just because Mazabin is sharing her screen and we want to make sure that if you send her a message, she won't see it until the end. So any questions can be directed at me, and hopefully we're going to have time at the end to also to kind of answer some of those questions. And the idea is that we kind of leave questions towards the end, unless there's something that comes up and then we should address. All right, so then without further ado, Mazabin, very good. Okay, so again, my name is Ms. Monica. I'm the college coach. I'm a college counselor. I'm one of the school counselors in school. When every single senior, when they apply to colleges, they have to list in their college application the name of their counselor. And as students apply, they will have to list me as their counselor. So it's very important that you have my contact information and my name, because I'm the middle person between the student and the college. I'm the one who sends the transcripts. We process everything from the college office. So very, very important that you have my contact information. Again, Mazabin works with me. She's one of the college coaches. For those of you that just came into the meeting, she has been a great support and amazing. It's great for students to have her, not just for me, but also for students. So we're very lucky to have her. She's a former Queens High School of Teaching student. And do you want to say the college you graduated from? Or?
Well, for those who came in late, I attended Macaulay Honors College at Brooklyn College, and I graduated in 2020.
Sounds good. All right, Mazabin, so let's move on. All right, so I'm just going to summarize a couple of things. I did this presentation, part of this presentation in classrooms, but this is, I'm going to go into deeper things, but I just want to give, for those families or students who were not in the class, just a strong overview of what colleges are looking for in students. We want to make sure that everyone knows that colleges are looking for a strong GPA. They want to know their students, the personality. They want to know if their student is taking challenging classes. Have they done any extracurricular activities? And also demonstrated interest, which means has your child or have you attended a virtual information session or an open house or a campus tour? So some colleges really put value into that. So we want to make sure that you know what's coming up, and college applications start happening at the beginning of senior year. We recommend that seniors submit their applications by the first week in November. So there's a lot of research to be done between now and August. And these are the characteristics and sort of what colleges are looking for. I also want to say at the end, we're going to be, we have a link where we want to take attendance of everyone who was here today. So if you could stick, towards the end so we can share that with you. So just important parts of the college application, obviously the transcript, and it's everything that the student has done from 9th grade up until junior year, which is the end of June. So whatever average students finish with in June is the average that students are applying to colleges with. So it's everything from 9th, 10th, and 11th grade. Obviously, letters of recommendation are very important. So students need to start asking teachers for letters of recommendation in the spring. Students just really need 1 or 2 letters of recommendation, not a lot more than that. Students will be going over some of the stuff in the current college and career exploration class that they have. So I'm just going to go through this a little quicker. We can always come back if there are questions. The essay and the personal statement is an opportunity for students to really discuss a little bit of their personality. Maybe they had a challenge, maybe they had a difficulty, and they want to show a little bit of that personality in their college essay. If a student is applying for art, or maybe they want to go into music or performing arts. There are some colleges that would ask for an audition or for a portfolio. So this is important to keep in mind. And if that is you, you need to start sort of prepping your portfolio and your whole presentation. Activities list, it just means that the college applications are going to ask, what have you been doing since 9th grade? Have you had any jobs? Have you had any, maybe any extracurricular activities, any volunteer work? So everything counts. So anything that a student has done is going to start counting in senior year when you apply for colleges. And last but not least, SATs. They may be optional for many colleges, but not all the colleges have confirmed that information. So it is extremely important that we prep for this test, that you take this test. And if you do well, then you can send those scores to the college. If the college then says that they're optional, and if you score near what they are asking for, then you can send your scores. If a student has below what the college needs, then the student can retake the SAT a second time or maybe a third time. But again, many colleges are sort of moving in the optional way. So it might not even be required for many, many schools, but it is important to take it just in case a student ends up requiring it for a school.
Okay, so now I'm going to be talking about the different colleges that you should start looking at. So first is CUNY, the New York City colleges. We have a page with all of the links because we will be sharing with you guys a lot of the links. So Miss Monica will send you guys a sheet with all of the links. So you don't have to worry about writing this down. But that is a link for the New York City colleges. The application, it costs $65 and you can apply to 6 colleges. We recommend students applying to 6. That way you'll be covered with the $65. And the New York City colleges are located within the 5 boroughs. So these are schools close to home. These are schools that you can commute to. And they are within New York City. Next, we have SUNY. These are New York State colleges. The application fee is $50 per college. And these are colleges located throughout the state of New York. So this could be upstate New York or Long Island. And there's FIT in Manhattan. But these are colleges, if you are looking to dorm, get away, live on your own, then SUNY's would be the option. Next, we have the Common App. You would be using the Common App to apply to private and out-of-state colleges. The application fee for private colleges vary, and there are private colleges within New York, New York City, New York State, and some outside of New York altogether. And lastly, we have historically Black colleges. You would be using Common Black College application. It costs $20 to apply to 4 colleges through that website. And historically Black colleges are located all over the country. So this is how we like to organize how students should apply. And we recommend students applying to a mix of schools, some CUNY, SUNY, some private, and HBCUs. So that's how we like to organize the college list.
I do want to say that we highly, as Mazabin said, highly encourage CUNY colleges. The students are guaranteed a spot in a CUNY college, whether it's, if you can't get into the 4-year school, you're definitely guaranteed a spot into the 2-year school. CUNY is very affordable in terms of tuition per year. Their tuition is anywhere between $5,000 and $7,000 per year. So that's not a lot comparing to a private or an out-of-state school. So very, very important that every single senior applies to CUNY. So we want you in the fall to make sure that you have a CUNY college. Also, some CUNY colleges are very, very competitive. So I don't want you to think that, that's very easy to get into. Like, no, they're very hard. And we'll see in a second the admissions requirements so you could see what we're talking about.
Right. So looking at the CUNY admission requirements, this is based on fall 2021. Once we have it for 2022, I believe, for
Right.
then we will update you.
Right.
But normally the four-year colleges, they are more competitive than community colleges. So Baruch College, located in Manhattan, the high school average that they look for in students is a 91.9, whereas Queensborough Community College, they accept students with a 79 GPA. So you have a broader range of colleges to apply to. We recommend students applying within their GPA. Some students, if you're courageous enough, you can apply to colleges that doesn't fall within your GPA, but then you have your essay, your extracurricular activities that can boost up your application as a whole. Should I also talk about SEEK, or should we say
So maybe we'll talk about that in a few.
Okay.
I mean, it's just another way to get in, and we'll talk about that. We have a whole slide for that, but if you notice, there are the GPAs are definitely lower. So it's another way to get into college, is like this back door. So we can talk about that in a few.
Okay. Next, the SUNY admissions requirements, same thing. The GPA varies from school to school, but usually SUNYs, they are more competitive, and they look heavily on the GPA. So for example, University at Buffalo, you would need a GPA from 90 to 97. SUNY colleges also require a letters of recommendation. So if you are interested in any of the SUNYs, definitely have at least one letters of recommendation, because it is not just the high school GPA that they're going to be looking at. So the admissions profile is to get a gist of what the colleges are looking for in terms of GPA and letters of recommendation, just to give you an idea of what their admissions look like. Is there anything you want to add, Ms. Monica?
Nope.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Or just maybe, like, I was just wanted to say in the chat, I'm just adding the admissions profile so that everyone has a copy of these, admissions profile. Okay, so then in terms of, there are two pathways to get into college. The one pathway is general admissions, which is just a student's GPA, pretty much just a letters of recommendation, the transcript, the usual stuff, the activities. So that's the regular path. It's just one way to get there. There is another back door that sometimes families or students don't know about, and it's called the opportunity programs. And we're gonna quickly point it out. It could take us like a whole session to talk about this, but we just want to let you know so that in case you do qualify, you could then keep that in mind and then apply in the fall. The back door allows a student to get into college with lower GPAs, lower SAT scores, but in order to get in, students have to qualify under, the family has to have a certain income bracket. So again, based on this slide, these are just, they provide assistance. They give mentors, they help financially, they give advising, counseling, any support services to students that go in through that back door. Now, a student gets in and they take classes just like everyone else. But it's sort of a program. Again, it's either for first generation college students or for low income students that are educational disadvantaged backgrounds. So there's certain criteria to it. Now, right on the top of the screen, you see that for CUNY colleges, the program is called SEEK, for the 4-year schools, or CD, which is College Discovery for the 2-year school. SUNY schools, their program is specific, it's called EOP, and private schools call it HEOP. So EOP would be Education Opportunity Program, and private schools call it HEOP, Higher Education Opportunity Program. So I think we have a slide, right, Mazabin, with income?
Yes.
Actually, okay, so let's take a look at this. So for example, if a student wants to get into Baruch College, if they go general admissions, they have to have, Maz, if you move the mouse over the general, so they need to have a 91.9 to get in, general admissions. But if a student applies through that back door or the SEEK program, they can go in, they can get in with an 83.2 average. So, you know, when you see this, you're like, what? You know, more opportunities are going to come my way. I want to be able to take advantage of this. So we want to make sure that you know about it. These programs are competitive because many students want to get in and the slots are very limited. Sometimes schools only have like 100 slots and, you know, thousands of students apply. So it is very important that, you know, you keep this in the back of your mind. Now, to the left of the screen, you see the household income size. So in order to qualify for the opportunity programs, let's say you have a family of 3, let's say it's mom, dad, and myself, I'm the child, then your household total household income cannot exceed 40,626. So it would be that or less. Now, this is the same income bracket for CUNY, for the HEOP, for EOP, and for the SEEK program. And this bracket changes every year. This is this year's bracket. It might go up a little bit, but it's normally within the same range. I also want to say, if along our presentation, if anyone has questions or any comments, please feel free to put them in the chat under my name so that I can answer them as we go along. We can always come back to any of these slides if anyone has questions, but this is just a general gist of the opportunity programs.
Yeah, and something I just want to add. So let's say if you have a college in mind right now, you should consider looking into see if they have an opportunity program available. And let's say this is like your dream college, somewhere you really want to go, but then you look at your GPA and it's not up there and it's not, but I think you should look into the opportunity program. Maybe through that way you have a shot at applying to this college. So opportunity program is really useful. And even after getting accepted, they provide so much assistance that maybe now you might not think is that valuable, but as a first generation college student, if I had those services available to me, I know it would have helped me a lot. And I know many of you guys can relate to that as well.
Absolutely. We've had students get into these programs and even like Ivy Leagues. And if, you know, a student gets into an Ivy League through these programs, like, you know, I mean, the Ivy Leagues in New York, because these programs are only for New York. Most of the time they get a full ride, like, you know, tuition paid. So it's an amazing opportunity.
Amazing, yeah.
So Mazvin, just go back once because I don't want them to see the yellow. Okay, so this is, so college applications could be very expensive. Some of them are $50 per college. As Mazabin mentioned earlier, some of them could be $100 per school. So every single school that you apply to is going to charge you for their application. So if you end up applying to 10 colleges, multiply that, and that's going to be very expensive. So there's something called fee waivers, and a fee waiver actually removes the cost. We have fee waivers in the college office. So it's like a code, you know, when you are shopping online and you put your credit card number. A fee waiver is sort of a similar thing. It's just a code that you would put in your college application, and then your application will be free. The schools won't charge you for it. So the only way to be able to get a fee waiver is if all juniors must submit a lunch application now, junior year, and do it again senior year in order to qualify for a fee waiver. It doesn't matter if a student eats in school, doesn't matter if they pick up lunch or not. Colleges use that as a guideline in order for them to give us those codes. So, you know, if a student comes to me and says, I need a fee waiver because my application is $65, we're going to go and check our DOE records to see if you submitted the lunch application. And if you didn't, we're going to say, sorry, we don't have any record of it. The other thing is that once you submit, it takes several days for this to be processed. So I had students who wanted a fee waiver, like I need one today. And then we're like, sorry, it's going to take 3 to 4 days for it to be processed. It's too late. So don't let that be you. You guys see the link right on the left where it says nycapplyforlunch.com. It's right on the screen, nycapplyforlunch.com. Please go on it today. Please go on it this weekend. Submit a lunch application and then put it on your reminder. Senior year, let me do it again. Let me fill it out again.
Yes, and we also shared the link through the link sheet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Other options that are not college. So this we recommend it for students who are really just, they know that they don't want to go to college after high school. We highly recommend that students still apply to college, especially if you fill out the lunch form and you qualify for a fee waiver, so your application is free. We recommend students to complete the CUNY application at least, just because we want you to graduate with options. After graduation, we want you to have options, whether that's trade school or traditional college. So we know we push a lot of college applications, but just know that we can also provide support for trade schools if that is something you are interested in.
And I want to say too, like I've seen students that have told us at the beginning of senior year, oh, I just want to do a trade school. Okay. And then May or June comes around when they're ready to graduate. And then they're like, you know what? I want to go to college. And they never apply to colleges because they never follow the schedule that we give you in school. They never did it with us in school. And they regret it because then their options originally were really a lot. But then if you decide to apply to a college in June, like you don't have, like you barely have like any options. So regardless if you're thinking of a trade school or any other options, it's always good, as Mazabin said, to have the college application in the back of your pocket in case you decide to, to go.
Yeah.
Again, for those of you that are just coming in, we feel free to ask any questions in the chat under, to me, and then I'll be able, Ms. Monica, and I'll be able to answer them. So we just want to give you an overview of financial aid. Obviously, college could be very expensive. Some colleges could be as cheap as, or affordable, not cheap, but affordable as $5,000 per year. But some other schools could be as much as $60,000 per year or even more. So the government has a lot of money to give out to students and families. So it is very important that students and families apply for financial aid. Doesn't matter what your family's income is. Even so, if when you fill out certain applications, the government is going to say, well, you know what, you don't qualify because maybe your family's income is, higher than we thought. However, if the college has money, then they can give students money, additional money. So it is very quickly, we just want to go over this. These are the types of financial aid that are out there. There are grants, there are scholarships, there's work study, and there are loans. Grants is just free money. Students don't have to pay it back. So that's a good thing. We want to get as many grants as we can, free money. Scholarships it's free money as well, but you have to win it. You have to apply for it. You might have to do an essay or a poem or upload a video, or just do a simple application. So it's important to apply to scholarships. Some of them can be a merit scholarship or maybe an athletic scholarship. There are many, many scholarships out there, but that happens pretty much like you just kind of taking the initiative and applying on your own. Grants come from the financial aid applications, which I'm going to talk about in a second. Work study is another government program where a student can get a job on campus, on college, and they pay you, and the student can use the money towards handbags and shoes, but you want to be able to put it towards your tuition or, maybe college expenses or books. And loans, it's money that the government says, we can lend you money. You just have to pay it back with interest. So some families might have to opt for this because they don't have enough to help cover the whole tuition. So these are just some forms of financial aid. Okay, so Maz, just go one at a time.
Okay.
Because it could be a lot. I don't want it to be overwhelming. If you can just go back once. So again, colleges use information from FAFSA and TAP to determine how much aid is to offer. FAFSA and TAP are two different financial aid applications. So every single senior needs to and must fill out a FAFSA and TAP. There are many, many reasons. Again, the government has money, colleges have money. There's a lot of private funding that colleges use of their own money to be able to give students out. So even if you receive a penny, you could be eligible for a lot of programs. Then the first one would be, so we want to make sure that you submit the FAFSA and TAP applications. Two different ones. FAFSA is money from the federal government and TAP is money from New York State. You can start applying October 1st, 2022. The money runs out. So if you apply late, your financial aid package might be not as good as if you would have, as if it would have been back in October. So October 1st is when the applications open up, and that's when you apply.
Please do not apply after this meeting. The applications that are open now are for the seniors this year. For you guys, it'll open October 1st.
Thank you, Mazamin. That's important. Yeah. Okay, so when you do the financial aid applications, there are, someone is saying that they can't hear me, but you can hear me, right, Mazamin?
I can hear you.
Yeah. So, okay. So it could be like someone's audio that it's not working. So if you need, so the financial aid application is going to request, is going to ask for the parent social security number and the student social security number. If you were not born in the US, if you don't have a social security number, you don't have a green card, you're not a citizen, let us know so that we can help you, because you won't be doing FAFSAs and TAPs. It would be a different pathway for you to get some money for school. So it's a little different. You also need a copy of your family's 2021 taxes. So if there are any parents listening to us right now, please make sure you submit your 2021 taxes. If you don't submit your taxes, your child will not qualify for any financial aid, no loans, no grants, nothing. So it's extremely important. So this is tax season. So make sure that you put those documents in a safe folder and that your son or your daughter has access to them in the fall. We can help in the college office with everything that has to do with this process, but there's going to be stuff that we're going to be needing. So please make that stuff available. And one of the things that is very important, and this is something that you can actually create, this year, it's called the FSA ID. You must create an FSA ID for the student and one for one parent. It's just a username and a password. I believe we also have the link on the link sheet, Mazaban. If not, I'll send it out in the chat in a few minutes in a few minutes, so that if you want to start creating the FSA ID, you could. It's just something that, it's just a username and password that you need in order to process FAFSA and TAP. And you could wait until October, but it takes about 3 to 4 days for the government to process that. So if you already have it, you can have it ready in October.
Yeah, and if you choose to create the username and password now, please keep it in a safe place so that when fall comes around, you can easily log in.
Absolutely. Okay, so in the chat, I'm just going to be adding the how to create an FSA ID.
Okay. Perfect.
And again, it's one for the student and one for one parent only.
Okay. I will be talking about the Excelsior Scholarship. So the Excelsior Scholarship provides free tuition to New Yorkers that are making up to $125,000 per year to attend SUNY or CUNY colleges free of tuition. This, in order to be eligible for the Excelsior Scholarship, you have to submit your FAFSA and TAP application. And the scholarship application comes out in the spring. Please keep in mind that if you do choose to accept the Excelsior Scholarship Fund, there are some, I want to say, like, if you choose to accept that money, then there are some things that you have to keep in mind, like you have to stay within New York State after graduating college. You also have to make sure that you're completing your FAFSA and TAP every year. And I believe, am I missing anything else?
I mean, you have to maintain like a certain credit, certain GPA.
Yes, you have to be enrolled.
And full-time.
Credit, full-time, yeah. So there are some, I want to say, like, things you have to maintain while obtaining the Excelsior Scholarship, but it is a great way to save money. You won't be spending money on tuition, and you can use that money for other needs for college.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I've had students who like they solely based their decision to go to a CUNY college or a SUNY college because they qualify for Excelsior and it pays your full tuition. So, I mean, it doesn't pay room and board.
Right.
Room and board, only
It does.
tuition. So
Right.
if anyone is interested in going to a SUNY college because they want a dorm, please note that you're not going to receive any financial aid for room and board. So if you are now on your mind, you're talking to your family, I want a dorm, financially, there are no grants that are going to cover room and board.
Yes.
So
that is a common misconception that happens with seniors. Like, please keep that in mind. Like, room and board is not covered by financial aid.
right.
Also, most scholarships don't cover room and board.
Yeah.
So if you do choose to dorm, that cost is all on you.
I also want to say, because there was a question in the chat that it was about the FSAID. If you want to just go back once. So we just mentioned how you have to get an FSAID for the student and the parent. If the parent has an FSAID already because they themselves are enrolling college, number one, or if they have a child, like if you have a sibling, like the parent has another child that is in college or just recently graduated from college, the parent already has an FSAID, so there is no need to create a new one. And you need to keep this FSAID for the next 4 years because you're going to be applying for FAFSA and TAP every single year. So thank you for that question, because that's important to know.
Yeah. Okay, next is the New York State DREAM Act. So this is provides financial assistance for undocumented students. With the New York State DREAM Act, you have access to the Excelsior Scholarship, the TAP application, and as well as other state administered scholarships. So we just wanted to highlight this because a lot of the times some students are they don't think college is an option for them because they are undocumented, and tuition is obviously a big factor in going to college. So we want to ensure you that there are opportunities out there for you, and please discuss that with us, and so we can figure out the best way we can help you throughout the application process. To learn more and to learn if you're eligible, please visit the link. It's also provided on the link sheet. Ms. Monica, do you want to add anything?
No, that's perfect. Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about additional money. How do we get money that it's not government money. So scholarships, this is a really popular one that comes up all the time. So students can get mini scholarships. They can get, but the thing is that you can get many, but like it really depends on how much effort you put into it. Right. It's also competitive. It's it's a contest. You're applying with a lot of, as I said, like everyone else and their grandmother, right? Because it could be like a national scholarship and everyone else is applying. We get a lot of like local scholarships at the college office. So we send information out whenever there's like, oh, there's maybe a scholarship for residents of Queens, or there's a scholarship for students who go to high school in Belrose. So we send those out regularly. So we'll tell you in a few minutes, how you can get access to those. But here are a few legitimate websites. You also want to be careful when you apply for these scholarships, because some of them might be scams. They might just want to get your information. So these websites, we again include them in the link that I originally said at the beginning. I'll share it again. And then the website, the link that I added has like Scholars Map, Czech Scholarship, Going Merry. Those are really like legitimate ones that you can definitely apply for. On the left-hand side of the page, there is one that says the opportunity. It's called the College Board Opportunity Scholarship. And all of you guys have all the students have a College Board account. If you log in, if the student logs in and if the student goes to that page and they do everything that they're telling you to do, and there's the link, there's the timeline. They want you to build a college list. They want you to practice for the SAT. They want you to explore scholarships. If you use their website to do all these things, the final scholarship is $40,000. You're not guaranteed the scholarship, but you're put into this list where you might be selected. One of our seniors last year got the $40,000 scholarship. So sometimes you hear these scholarships and you're like, oh, am I really going to get it? But like one of our students got it. So she was featured in Good Morning America and everything. So, another senior, this current senior from this year's class, she got the $500 one for just building a college list. So, yeah, so definitely make use of it. And I'm going to add when I send it, it didn't go through, but I'm going to send it again. So.
And you're going to be doing this stuff anyways. So if you can get money from doing what you're supposed to do, I mean, that's a win for me. So it doesn't hurt to take advantage of it.
Yeah. In the chat, I just added the link to it's a page that contains all the links of the stuff that we're talking about today. And there you'll find the links for these scholarships.
Okay.
All right, so here is just a quick timeline. I mean, you can take a picture of this just so that you kind of know and see what's happening or what's going to happen. During the second semester of junior year, which is where we currently are, students have to make a rough list of the colleges that they're in that interest them, or a list of what the colleges that they think they're going to be applying. Students need to start deciding, am I going to apply to a school that requires the SAT? Can I go to an SAT optional school? Start asking teachers for letters of recommendation. Those things matter. During the summer, you want to maybe work on your personal statement or your college essay. You want to maybe make a resume if you have jobs or volunteer work. That's optional, but it's not required for colleges, but colleges like that if you have a resume, you can just go ahead and upload it. Or just, list activities that you've done since 9th grade. And during senior year, obviously you want to finalize your college list. It's ready to go. You start applying and you do all your college applications and everything. So just kind of like a timeline of a little bit of junior and senior year. So this is very important. SAT school day is going to take place at QHST on Tuesday, April 26th. So all the juniors in our school are already registered and scheduled to take the SAT in our school. So again, SAT and ACTs may be optional for many colleges. ACT, I didn't talk a lot about it, but it is just another test like the SAT, but it's a different company. And colleges accept either the SAT or the ACT. So if you need just more information about that, when we meet, we can talk about that. Now, do your research and find out if the college that you're interested in requires you to submit SAT scores. For sure, 100%, SUNY colleges already made an announcement and they're saying that SATs are going to be optional. So it's great, use that to your advantage. So optional means that they're not going to require it. So you don't even have to submit that. Students should prep for the SAT, free SAT prep through Khan Academy. And if you link Khan Academy with your College Board account, you'll get customized prep. So it's a very good way to prep between now and April 26th. I know that some of you guys, some of the seniors have asked me, some of the juniors have asked me, Ms. Monica, on my College Board account, I see that there is a date of March 23rd. We don't know what that is. We are going to, find out. We're waiting to hear back from College Board, but I guess disregard that. SAT school day is going to be April 26th.
Okay. Next, one-on-one appointments. Ms. Monica offers in-person meetings to students and virtual meetings to parents. Students can only schedule meetings during their free periods or lunch. Please do not miss class to meet with Ms. Monica. That is unacceptable. You will be sent right back to class, so don't try it. But if you do have questions, concerns, you want to go over stuff with Ms. Monica, she is available to meet with you, and parents as well. Parents are strictly virtual meetings, and students are in person. And I'm going to quickly show you guys how you can book an appointment with her through this link, qhstcollegeoffice.setmore.com. /Monica. So,
I do want to say, Mazaban, again, there are no visitors allowed in the building. So if you're a parent that would like to meet with me, I can only do a virtual appointment. I will not be able to meet with you in person because that's just the building policy and DOE policy. So, but for students, I can definitely meet with them. I do want to say though, that I will be already automatically, I'm going to be starting to do this week. I'm going to start pulling students from classes, from the college class, from the college exploration class. I'm going to start pulling students. So you'll get me one way or another.
Oh, perfect. So can everyone see my screen?
Yes, we still see the appointments.
Okay, so I'm just going to show you guys quickly, do a quick demonstration on how you can book an appointment online to meet with Ms. Monica. So you're going to go to the following link. Oh, I'm not typing. So QHST College Office.
Mazaban, we don't see anything.
Oh,
You might have to use one of the windows from there. Like, can you open up a window, a tab?
Yes. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Sorry about that, guys. So I'm just going to QHST College Office.setmore.com /Monica. Miss Monica, that's who you're going to be meeting with. Some time to load. And this is how the page should look. Please read the booking policy carefully. This may change according to school policy, our office policy, but just read the booking policy before making an appointment. As we've stated, Ms. Monica is only doing in-person meetings with students and virtual to parents. So depending on if you're a student or a parent, you're gonna click whichever option works for you. In this scenario, I'll just do in-person meeting. Pick a date and time. Please do not choose a time when you have class. So for this, I'll just choose Wednesday, the March 23rd, 10 a.m. Put in your information. Phone number, email. It's really important that you use accurate email and phone number, because if there are any cancellation or changes to your appointment, Ms. Monica will contact you either through your email or phone number. I don't know if you do that. I know when I speak to
Yeah,
students,
definitely. Yeah. And then there's been times when I need to cancel. So, if I
Yeah.
don't have the correct or contact information, then. Yeah, so this is just Mazabin is showing you how you can make an appointment. It's a very easy way, whatever, when you click on it, whatever slot opens up is the one that we have available. So if you can't find a slot, you can always email me and I'll see if I can try to squeeze you. But, if I know Mazabin also works, in the evening sometimes, but she's mostly working with seniors now, but I'll, we'll try to help you out.
Right. Yeah, we're accommodating. So once you put in all your information, you're gonna click book, and you will receive an email regarding your appointment with Miss Monica as well. And that's pretty much it. It's very simple. And this is the perfect way to know Miss Monica's availability and also see if it matches with yours, so you can find a common ground to meet with one another.
Yeah, just make sure that when you choose the option, like when it comes up, make sure that you're either are selecting the in-person or the virtual, depending on what you want. Obviously, if it's a student and the student is in school, they shouldn't be choosing virtual. They should be choosing in-person.
In-person. Okay. So that's done.
Is this me or you, Mazabin?
I think this is you.
Okay, so we have a way to communicate via text through to all the students, and parents. So feel free, we want you to join. We want you to download the Remind app. If you download the Remind app, just say that you want to join class QHST C8. And then we'll communicate with you. You can send us a text message. If we're available, we'll respond. If you're at home, maybe filling out the FSA ID, you get stuck. And if we get access to the Remind, we'll respond. So sometimes if we try to locate students and we can in the class, so we'll send the student a text message. Hey, come down to the college office. We need to speak to you. I remember, sometimes like colleges would come in to visit and they would say like, I want to speak to a certain student because we got their application. Are they here? So, we want to make sure that everyone joins Remind, whether you're a parent, legal guardian, or a student.
Yes, because we understand that the application process can be stressful, and we want to make ourselves available to you as possible. And this is just another way for you to have communications with us if you ever need to.
Yeah, there is a question in the chat. Is Remind, this particular Remind for college inquiries? Yes, so it's interesting because our school, many different teachers use Remind, but they each have a class code. So if a student will have to join different classes to get notifications from different teachers. This particular class, the QHST C8, it's only for college inquiries. So anything college related, applications, and financial aid. So we also have a college office website, collegeoffice.queenshsofteaching.org. And if you actually go to the website and if you click on where it says programs and opportunities, if you click there, we post, this is weekly, we post scholarships, jobs, programs. Colleges are recruiting students. So click on it, view it. It's pretty up-to-date information. We also posted in the college office Google Classroom, which we'll talk about in a second. So we have a college office classroom for seniors and for juniors. So if you're a junior, if you haven't joined, please join. We don't post assignments, we just post resources there.
We have a Instagram account and a YouTube channel. On the Instagram account, we post seniors, where they're going, if we have any workshops or events happening in our school, or different programs that students might be interested in. We communicate that through Instagram. This meeting, if you guys want access to it, later on, you can visit our YouTube channel to find it. It's QHST College Office. You can subscribe if you're interested, but these are just the different ways you can also be connected with us.
I do want to say, if you go back once.
Yeah.
And another one. There.
Oh.
So this is on our Instagram page. We also, this is last year's seniors. We just did a screenshot. And so we will feature seniors as to where they're going. So we posted their pictures. So this was really nice because teachers made comments, you know, family members made comments. So it's really nice. It's like a happy time. So
Yeah.
this will be you guys next year.
And the students loved it as well. So yeah, consider following us so you can stay up to date.
I think it's QHST College
College
Office. Yep, the handle is right there. It's private, so just request us and we'll accept you. So let's just recap. I know we talked a lot about a lot of stuff today. We're, you know, almost done, but we just want to make sure, please take a picture of this. Just to recap, again, submit your lunch application, join, remind. That's the Google Classroom. That is the code. So if you're a junior that hasn't joined Google Classroom, please do so. Start your college list, start visiting colleges, whether it's in person or virtually. Go to the college's website and sign up for a virtual tour. And then last but not least, you know, gather your financial aid documents so that you could be ready in October and apply for financial aid.
Okay, should I talk? Do I?
Yep.
Okay, so for those of you who attended today's meeting, please complete this Google form before you leave, just so we have a record of your attendance. Ms. Monica, are you putting it in the
Yep.
chat? Okay.
I'm putting the link in the chat, so please go to the link, just fill out that quick form for us. We do want to know which juniors attended, so we would appreciate if you can fill that out. So it's in the chat for those students, I mean, or for families. If you're a parent, you can fill it out too. Maz, do you mind going to the next? And then obviously, you know, I think, you know, we're kind of near the end. If there are any questions or any comments, we're here to answer them. I think we have like a few more minutes before we're done. You know, it's been a pleasure, you know, kind of being here with you. We hope that you value this information. We hope that you enjoyed it. We know it's a lot and it could be overwhelming. We try to make it as friendly as possible so that you can understand it and see it in an easier way. You know, we're with you, we're supporting you, but you know, we also want you to meet us halfway. We're sharing all this stuff, so we want you to do your part so that when you meet with one of us, you know, you have questions and you have a better idea as to, like, if we say start your college list, we want you that then when you meet with us, then at least have your college list. So
Miss Monica, some people RSVP'd and they left questions.
oh yeah. I'm gonna be also I'm getting messages about maybe if you don't mind, Maz, can you just go back to like where our names were and then put in our email so they could see our emails?
Somebody asked for the junior college classroom code.
Oh yeah, I'll put that in.
I also have it on the screen. And you said to go back to our information, contact info.
We wanted to go over. Oh, I should put the code for the Google Classroom. Just give us a second. Mazabin, so you want me to pull up some of the questions we had, right? In the
Yeah, I can as well, but I would just have to stop sharing my screen.
No, I will do it.
Oh.
If there is a specific slide that you would like us to go back to and we can just, you know, show it again, we can do that too. I'm putting in the Google Classroom. If you give me a second. So it's B5 UFF. Okay, so in the chat, I added my email. Someone is asking if we can go back to the CUNY schools, the application list. They want to see the averages.
Okay.
And then while you do that, Maz, I'm going to be answering some of the questions that we received from the RSVP.
Perfect.
And then we should be done shortly. Okay, so someone said, what do we think is the easy? What do you think it's the easy about? Oh, what's the easiest thing about applying to college? That's a very hard question.
I think if you start early, like this is the perfect time for juniors to start. I know I started my college application process at this time. So if you start early and if you're prepared, then everything works out smoothly, in my opinion. So I would just say start now. There's things you can do now. Like I think
Absolutely.
now I was recruiting teachers for my letters of recommendation. I was working on my essay. So these are things you guys can do now. And trust me, senior year will be smooth in terms of the college application process.
Right. Or it can be extremely difficult if you leave things for last minute.
Last minute, yeah. So
there was another question. Which tax return does the class of 2023 uses for when filing FAFSA? It would be, the taxes would be the 2021 taxes. Someone asked about the opportunities for college tours and prep for the SAT. So in terms of college tours, I think there's limitation because I don't know if we can take students on trips. Personally, I know there's limitations for like all these COVID restrictions. There's also a budget factor in terms of buses. So I would say don't wait for us to take you on a college trip. I would say if you could get on a college's website, just go to admissions, the admissions page, and go to the search bar and look for campus tours or campus activities, or even a virtual tour or virtual information session. Try to get your hands on that. In terms of SAT prep, we mentioned Khan Academy. Khan Academy is a great resource and it's free SAT prep. I know of students who have used it and it's worked very well for them, but they can't just like prep once in a blue moon, like they have to prep regularly.
I used it when I was prepping. That was like the first time they launched that. So basically you take the SAT, the pre-SAT, and then based on what you get, they tell you like what you need to work on. So I know that helped me out a lot. Because then I wasn't wasting time prepping for things and materials that I knew. I was focusing more on things that I need to work on so that I can do better on the SATs. So I highly recommend Khan Academy.
Yeah, someone also asked, what is the, again, what is SAT? Is it April 26th, March 23rd? No, it's April 26th. So please make sure. So there's another question. How can a parent find out if they have completed a lunch form application for the current school year? That's something that we're going to have available. If you email us or if you have your child check with us, we can let them know. If you send us a message on Remind, we can let you know. Someone also asked, what is the direct Google Classroom link?
If you go on our website, you can find the link.
So I think that a parent cannot join the Google Classroom. It has to be the student that joins the Google Classroom.
Yes, through their QHST Gmail.
Right, because I think a parent was trying to join and it didn't let them. Oh. There's another question. Can I still apply for SEEK and College Discovery if I don't fit the grading criteria, but you fit the financial criteria? So it's kind of it's a little strange because sometimes like if you meet the financial, the bottom line, the most important thing is the financial piece. If you meet the financial piece, then you're already like halfway there. If the GPA of a school says for SEEK, you need to have maybe an 80 and the student has a 90, then they're going to say you are overqualified. We're just going to roll you over to general admissions. So, I mean, you can always apply and let them reject you, but they always roll you over to general admissions if they see that you don't qualify.
Right. So if you apply through EOP and later on, or SEEK, and you later on find out that you're no longer eligible, you will still be eligible for general admissions.
Absolutely. There is another question. I think this, yeah, there is a scholarship called the Posse Scholarship. So if anyone is interested in the Posse Scholarship, we'll get the notification out to different students, but it would be me that I would recommend students for Posse. We talked about financial aid. Someone said how to obtain scholarship resources. We covered that in the presentation and we added links. The other question is, can you take the SAT and the ACT? Yes, you can. If you take the SAT, you register on College Board. If you want to take it another day that it's not April 26th, or like in addition to April 26th. And if you want to take the ACT, you just go to the ACT website and register. We have fee waivers for that. And students can access those fee waivers through our college office website.
But you have to complete the lunch form.
Oh, that's right.
That is the way we will find out if you qualify for a fee waiver for the SAT or the ACT exam.
Yeah, someone said, how do you start meeting with us to discuss the college, your college application? So again, we talked about Remind, we talked about booking appointments with me. And then we also talked about how I'm going to be pulling students from individually or like in small groups from each of your college inquiry classes or your college exploration class. So that's also another opportunity. We talked about college tuition. When should you start applying to colleges? College application, you should start applying or submitting, starting your applications. They open up in September, early in September. So you should submit by early November. That's what we recommend.
Yes. Everyone, if you attended today's meeting, please complete the Google form.
Yeah, so someone is saying, will this presentation be available to students and parents? Maz, do you want to answer that?
Yes, I will be posting this on our QHST College Office YouTube page and also sharing it on the junior Google Classroom.
Yep, so we will be doing that. So, I mean, I think that's it. Those were all the questions. We want to thank you for sticking, for this whole hour with us. And we hope that this was helpful. We hope that you appreciate this information. And if we can help, in any way, please reach out and let us know.